What's up everyone, Kaze no What If is here with What If Naruto had a leveling system. Before we start, if you like the video, like it, share with your friends, comment, and let's start the video. What? I and the living hell. The loud voice echoed throughout the small apartment, making the odd cockroach skitter back into the many cracks in the walls. Within the bedroom, a small boy, one Uzumaki Naruto, lay on his bed facing the ceiling. His eyes were wide with disbelief and astonishment. Why, might you ask? Floating about 1.5 feet away from his face was a small horizontal blue rectangle that had a few words written on it. Naruto blinked in half-asleep puzzlement at the notice. Hardly surprising, considering he had only just woken up. The orphaned boy stared at the odd box before slowly forming the ram hand sign. Kai, he commanded as he attempted to end the genjutsu that he was certain he was under. When the box didn't vanish, Naruto just shrugged. He had never once successfully dispelled a genjutsu in his entire life, so he hadn't really expected it to work this time. Deciding to just ignore the odd blue rectangle, Naruto sat up and stretched, yawning as he did so. He didn't have to go to the Konoha Shinobi Academy today, so he could get some training in without being jeered at by the Academy sensei. Except Iruka sensei. Naruto added to himself. Umino Iruka was the only teacher in Naruto's entire 6-year-long academy career that didn't discriminate against Naruto in any way, shape, or form, preferring to be scrupulously fair with the young blonde boy. Padding out into his hall, Naruto wrinkled his nose at the stench that was left over from the latest present thrown through a broken window by an unknown person. A bag of rotting dog turds, judging by the scent. Lovely. With a sigh, the boy walked to the kitchen and grabbed a clothes peg, a heavy-duty bin bag, and plastic gloves from a drawer. Clamping the wooden peg over his nose, which was fairly sensitive to scents, Naruto then pulled on the gloves and got down to the dirty business of dealing with the source of the revolting odor. For the 12th time this month, the citizens of Konoha uniformly despised Naruto for some odd and unknown reason. Well, the civilians hated him. The various shinobi clans and Konoha shinobi forces members just ignored him, except for the academy staff, who hated him. Except for Iruka sensei. Finished with his unpleasant and disgusting task, Naruto walked to the balcony of his apartment, which was on the top floor of the building, and looked down. Ah, good. The bin was open. He carefully aimed for the bin and dropped the bag containing the turds. Naruto watched as the bag fell and landed inside the bin with a loud "Seriously, got to find a new place to live. This is stupid." Naruto muttered as he peeled off the gloves and threw them into the kitchen bin before stomping off to the bathroom for his daily curse at the useless pipes that don't damn well work time that most people had a shower during. He had, on countless occasions, tried to get the landlord to do something about this. The few times the fat bastard hadn't tossed him out of his office, he had instead been threatened with eviction if he didn't shut up and bugger off. So, instead of a shower in the morning, Naruto generally bought a large bottle of drinking water from a nearby corner shop at thrice the listed price and poured it into a bowl, using soap instead of shampoo. It sucked by comparison to a proper hot shower, but needs must when demons drive. Because of him smelling a bit ripe, it didn't actually surprise him that he had never successfully asked his crush, Haruno Sakura, out on a date. Naruto smiled a bit as he pictured his emerald-eyed, pink-haired love interest. It never failed to cheer him up. Sure, she punched him out whenever he asked her on a date, but she acknowledged that he was there, that he existed. She had a legitimate reason to dislike him, which he accepted. He admitted to himself that he could stand to tone down the frequency of his date requests, which he did whenever he saw her. Most of the other kids in his year avoided him or tried to bully him, so he avoided them right back. The rest were either neutral towards him or slightly friendly with him. Sadly, the last group composed of all of the slackers. Akimichi Koji, who would rather eat than study, Nara Shikamaru, the laziest bastard Naruto had ever met, and Inyazuka Kiba, the guy who only stayed out of the position of dead last because he could actually use the stupid Bunshin no Jutsu, while Naruto couldn't. Those three were friends of a sort that he hung out with occasionally when he ditched class, before they were dragged back by an irate Irika. Naruto yawned again as he walked into his bathroom, but froze as he passed the broken mirror that he had glued together from one a former neighbor had thrown out after his wife had thrown it at him when he came home drunk again. Visible in the cracked surface was his head, above which floated a handful of blue words. LV4, Uzumaki Naruto. After turning to fully view his reflection, Naruto hesitantly waved his hand through the words, half expecting them to dissipate like smoke. Nope, they were still there. They just hung there. Okay, seriously starting to freak out here, he whispered. Except he wasn't, for some reason. He was surprised, yes, but panicking? Starting to gibber inanely. Nope. He flinched a bit when another blue box appeared at the exact same distance the last one has appeared at. He peered at the title. What the hell is going on here, he wondered aloud before continuing to read. Wash down, dress up, you are going to head out for training soon. Get cleaned up and dressed in 10 minutes. Quest completion award, plus 50 EXP. Quest failure, plus 10 EXP. Accept? Naruto stared at the rectangle with another bewildered expression. EXP. What the hell was that? And a time limit on how long it takes to get washed and dressed? What was with that? What the hell? Why not, he said aloud as he cautiously pressed the Y button, which he presumed stood for yes. At once, a countdown timer appeared in the corner of his sight, seeming to float in midair, and began to count down from 10 minutes. Naruto moved to the sink and turned the hot tap. Much to his delight, this was one day when the damn tap actually gushed water. After a quick wash, Naruto dressed himself up in his cheap orange workman's jumpsuit. He liked the color and how many pockets it had. Unfortunately, Sakura and her frenemy, Yamanaka Ino, despised it with a passion. As soon as he finished pulling on his blue shinobi sandals, the timer stopped. Naruto noted that it had taken him a little under 5 minutes to get ready. Another box popped up bearing another message. Quest complete. Completion reward, 50 EXP. Bonus award, finished in less than 5 minutes, 20 EXP. Okay, so he got an extra 20 EXP for finishing quickly. That was cool and everything, but he still had no clue what this EXP thing was. Before he could do anything, the box vanished and another one appeared. Race to the goal. You're hoping to train using the Academy's obstacle course today. Irika-sensei said he would meet you at 10 to help you train, but you only have 10 minutes to make it there now. Run like the wind and make it to the Academy's training field before you are late. Quest completion award, plus 100 EXP, plus 100 reputation with Umino Irika. Quest failure, plus 50 EXP, minus 50 reputation with Umino Irika. Accept. Okay, Naruto wasn't the sharpest tack in the box, but even he knew what reputation was and he didn't want the only teacher that treated him decently to think less than him. Quickly taping the Y button, he zoomed out the front door and started to run at his top speed towards the Academy training field. As he ran, he felt a shiver make its way up his spine as he felt the usual cold glares of the civilian populace, intermixed with what he recognized as very mild killing intent. Another box popped up when Naruto was about halfway to the Academy. As a result of constant endurance, you have created the skill. Allows the user to detect any killing intent within a set distance. With increased levels, the exact location of the key can be determined, as well as the name of the person emitting the key. Range, 30 meters. So by having people send key at him, he got a skill to detect key? Naruto still had no clue as to what was going on here, but this skill did seem like it would be useful. Noticing that he had slowed down when the box popped up, Naruto started running again, ignoring the unrelenting pressure of the glares with the ease of long practice. As the academy came into sight, Naruto noticed Iruka-sensei standing at the door talking with a silver-haired man that he recognized as Toji Mizuki, the assistant sensei of his class. He gaped for a moment when he noticed writing floating over both of their heads. LV-25 Umino Iruka. LV-26 Toji Mizuki. Okay, this was weird. Not only was there odd blue writing above his head, apparently, there was writing above other people's heads as well. He hadn't noticed this before now because he did his best to ignore the people who glared at him. Hey! Iruka-sensei, he called cheerfully. The two Chunin teachers turned around at his call. Naruto noted that Mizuki had to suppress a look of dislike upon seeing him. He had known that Mizuki was just like the majority of the academy staff, but it still hurt slightly to know he was hated by one of his sensei. See you later, Iruka. Mizuki said to his fellow teacher, drinks at 5. Sure. Iruka nodded, see you at Aya's. With a nod, the silver-haired Chunin vanished in a puff of smoke just as Naruto ran up to Iruka, a wide grin across his face. Sorry for the wait, Iruka-sensei, he said as he came to a halt. Wait? Hardly, Naruto. You're early. Iruka said, looking slightly impressed. I had thought I would have to go looking for you like I do during class time. Oi! Naruto protested indignantly, I promised I'd be here, didn't I? I never break my word. True enough. Iruka chuckled, sorry for doubting you. Head over to the training field. I have to get something from my desk. You got it, Iruka-sensei. Naruto nodded before jogging off. When he got to the field, he was not surprised to see another box pop up. You arrived at the academy training field on time. Quest completion reward, plus 100 EXP, plus 100 reputation with Umino Iruka. Bonus reward, arrive 3 minutes or more early, plus 30 EXP, plus 20 reputation with Umino Iruka. So he had 120 points higher reputation with Iruka-sensei than he had had before. This was good, but as he didn't actually know how the whole reputation thing worked, he was a bit lost as to exactly what to do with this information. He distracted himself by looking around the training field. There were several wooden posts for taijutsu practice, a shooting range for practicing shuriken jutsu, as well as the obstacle course. Someone had left part of the seat of their trousers behind after a failed attempt at the course the previous day. Naruto groaned when yet another box popped up. When was he going to get an explanation about what the heck was going on here? As a result of diligent observation, the skill has been created. A skill that allows the user to view information about people, animals, and objects that the skill is directed upon. The higher the skill's level is, the more information is gathered. 5 CP per use. Okay, Naruto said slowly, this is starting to sound like one of those RPG things that Koji liked to talk about last year. Looking around, he saw a rusty kunai lying on the ground. Deciding it made a good test target, he stared at it for a moment, but nothing happened. Jutsu have to be invoked verbally when you first learn them, according to Iruka-sensei anyway, so maybe I have to say its name aloud as well. Naruto theorized to himself, growling when yet another window popped up. By thinking in a logical and concise manner, your WIS went up by 1. A tick mark appeared on Naruto's head at this. Whoever was doing this was decidedly pissing him off. He said softly as he stared at the kunai on the ground, prompting another small window to appear, replacing the other one. Rusty kunai. A kunai that was left outside for an extended period of time, it is now rusted and blunt. That was all the information that it had. Naruto frowned before directing his attention at the training posts for taijutsu and said, "Wooden training post. A wooden pillar of wood intended for use as a target for taijutsu. Striking this pillar gives you 5% EXP for every 5 minutes you spend punching it." Okay, that was weird. It give you 5% what EXP? Naruto sighed as there was only one way to find out. He walked over to the post and started punching it. After 5 minutes, another box appeared. Through diligent training, the skill has been created. By conditioning your body to become tougher, your effectiveness when performing any taijutsu style increases. Passively increases effectiveness of any taijutsu style by 1%. Naruto just stared at the box before swiping at it with one hand, banishing it, before using on the pillar again. Wooden training post. A wooden pillar of wood intended for use as a target for taijutsu. Striking this pillar gives you 5% EXP for every 5 minutes you spend punching it. Okay, so now that he had created the skill, it showed up in the description given by. Fair enough. What Naruto wanted to know is how new he could create the ability. Naruto. Iruka-sensei's call broke him from his reverie. Naruto turned around to see his sensei walking towards him. He noticed Iruka looked a bit tired. Has leveled up. Naruto ignored the window and called out to Iruka, "Hey Iruka-sensei. What's up? You look tired." "Oh, it's nothing Naruto." Iruka replied, "Just marking essays late into the night for a friend. He's off ill, so I was put in charge of marking his class's essays as well as my own." Damn. Naruto hated paperwork, so he really felt for the Chunin. "So what are we training today?" "Well, I thought you could try and beat your personal record on the obstacle course first." Iruka suggested, "You are only a few seconds behind the current record holder, Nobusaki Tomoya, so it's a good place to start." Naruto resisted, rolling his eyes in exasperation as another box popped up. Seriously, this was getting old already. Training montage. Iruka is going to put you through a training regimen, so do your best. First objective, beat own personal time on the obstacle course in 3 attempts or less. Time to beat, 3.56. Objective completion reward, plus 100 EXP, plus 2 stat points bonus objective, beat the previous record holder's time of 3.22 failure, plus 50 EXP. Yosh. Time to kick ass. Naruto declared as he hit the Y button to accept the quest. He stepped up to the start of the course and looked out at it. The course was a moderately difficult run of pitfalls, tripwire, automatic shuriken launchers that fired blunted wooden shuriken, as well as twists and turns that were all designed to hinder a person running the course, as well as tests them on their ability to think on their feet. On your marks. Iruka said as he pulled a stopwatch from his pocket. Naruto tensed up and prepared to run when Iruka gave the word. Go. Naruto exploded into motion, running straight down the center of the course, eyes darting left and right to search for the first obstacle. A few seconds later, a flurry of shuriken were sent flying at him. The blonde boy threw himself into a forward roll, narrowly avoiding the wooden projectiles, as well as leaping over a tripwire. The rest of the course was pretty standard, and by the time Naruto came to the end of it, he had built up a small amount of sweat. Iruka-sensei, what was my time? Naruto asked eagerly. 3.43 Iruka replied, you beat the time Naruto. Well done. Let me go again. Naruto practically begged. Okay. Iruka said, and hit a button that reset the traps and reloaded the shuriken launchers. On your marks. Naruto was practically vibrating in place as he waited for the go from Iruka-sensei. Go. Iruka called. Naruto raced across the course much faster than before. Now that he knew where most of the traps and shuriken launchers were, he was much better at dodging them. At the end of the course, he threw an imploring look at Iruka-sensei. 3.21 Iruka announced with a proud smile, "You beat the record by a single second. Well done, Naruto." "Hell yeah!" Naruto cheered. Personal best time beaten, plus 100 EXP, plus 2 stat points. Course record beaten, mystery prize from Iruka at the end of the quest. "Any, Iruka-sensei, who was this Nobusaki Tomoya guy anyway?" Naruto asked, noting the fact that his teacher didn't seem to see the blue box floating in midair as he surreptitiously closed it. "Oh, he was a genin from my class." Iruka replied, "He washed out of the shinobi program because of a health problem in his last year. He was arrogant, but he set the standard for the obstacle courses that few managed to come near. He barely tried with the basic course, but got a good score anyway." "Didn't the Densetsu no Sunin or that Itaka guy get better scores?" Naruto queried. It seemed odd to him that a washout had a better time than some of the most famous ninja ever produced by Konoha. The Sunin were before the academy built the 3 obstacle courses in their current forms, so they don't count. Iruka replied, and yes, if he had taken this course, Itaka would have broken the time with ease, but his father requested he be put through accelerated training, so the only obstacle course he ever used was the advanced course. Obviously he now holds the top time for that particular course now. Naruto didn't know what to say about that, so he decided to move past it. "So what's next?" "Shuriken Jutsu." Iruka replied, "First, I'll go over the actions, then inspect your gear, then you will have time to practice it." "Okay." "Gotcha." Naruto nodded. As he expected, another blue box opened up. Training montage, The Reign of Steel. Listen to Iruka's lecture on Shuriken Jutsu, then show him your shuriken. Once he either approves or replaces your shuriken, you have 10 throws. Second objective, attain a 80% successful hit ratio. Bonus objective, hit 3 vital spots on at least 1 targets. Objective completion reward, plus 100 EXP, plus 1 dex. Naruto endured the rather boring lecture on correct posture, strength, etc., etc. that Iruka gave. He already knew everything that the man was talking about already. The 2 reasons that he was a 2-time failure at the academy were because of his inability to create a bunshin and his abysmal written work. He could throw shuriken and kunao just fine. "Right then, Naruto. Show me your shuriken," Iruka said once he finished his lecture. Naruto brought out his shuriken, most of which were fairly old. He had only been able to buy the damn things because the academy shop wasn't allowed to refuse to serve a student. Iruka frowned after he examined them. "Naruto, these aren't real shuriken. They are imitation shuriken." "What?" Naruto yelped and then quickly used the skill on the shuriken Iruka was holding. "They look like the real deal, but they ain't. Twice as heavy as a real shuriken and horribly unbalanced, you would have more luck spitting against the wind than hit a target with these things. 32 accuracy when used as a thrown weapon. Thrown weapon LV-12 damage. Damn it." Naruto cursed. "Naruto, have you been using these all year?" Iruka asked carefully. "Ever since I bought them at the academy shop in my first year here." Naruto replied furiously, "I couldn't replace them because every time I try, the damn shop is mysteriously out of stock. You do realize that you've been scoring just below average with these things." Iruka gestured at the fake shuriken. "I'm looking forward to how you do with actual academy shuriken. Here you go." With that, Iruka pulled a shuriken holster from his pouch and gave it to Naruto, who took it gleefully. "Thanks Iruka-sensei," he said happily. "Whoa, this is much lighter than my old one." Check your holster. Irika said with a sigh, I think it's weighted as well. Naruto practically ripped off his old kunao and shuriken holder and emptied it out onto the ground. Weighing it in one hand against the new one, which was full of new shuriken, his old holster weighed far more than his new one. A feeling of hopeless anger welled up in him. What the hell have I ever done that's made every sorry son of a bitch in this damn village want to get in my way all the time? Naruto growled, I mean, seriously. Who goes to all this effort for a 12-year-old kid? Irika looked distinctly uncomfortable. Naruto. Sorry Irika-sensei. Naruto sighed as he let his anger go, it's been a pretty shitty week for me. Still sore about that spar against Sasuke? Irika guessed. The blonde pulled a sour face. He had been paired against Sasuke in a spar the previous day. The Avenger had sucker punched him out of the arena. The bastard needs to be taken down a peg. Naruto grumbled, I'm not going to let him win just like that. No way. I don't give up. Good attitude. Irika noted with a smile, now try your hand at the throwing range, okay. Gotcha. Naruto strapped on his new holster and walked to the edge of the range. The target dummies of the Academy Shuriken range, known affectionately as Training Kun, are human-shaped straw dummies with red and white circular target boards on them. There are 5 boards on the body, 1 per hand, 1 on the head, 1 over the heart and 1 over the groin area. The center of each target board is referred to as a vital area. Any hit with a kunao or shuriken to that area counts as a disabling hit to that area. In the case of the head and heart area, it counts as a kill shot. Naruto whispered as he heft one of his new shuriken into his line of sight as he pretended to get a good idea of how much it weighed. An average quality shuriken used by students of the Konohagakure Shinobi Academy. It is well balanced and can, in a pinch, be used in combat, although this is more of a practice weapon than an actual weapon. Thrown weapon LV 310 damage. Okay, so this shuriken is 5 times as effective as the damn fake ones he had been using up until now, and there is no accuracy penalty to using these ones, so he hoped he could at least get a decent score. With a quick flick of the wrist, he sent the shuriken he held at the target, but misjudged it because of how light it was compared to his old ones, so it flew wide, missing the dummy altogether. Damn it. Naruto cursed, okay, test throw over. Now to get serious. Naruto then pulled another shuriken from his holster and, after confirming that it was indeed another Academy shuriken, threw it at the dummy, aiming for the groin area of the Training Kun dummy. At a dead center. Naruto fist-pumped at his successful hit, although he mentally winced at the thought of being struck there of all places by a shuriken. Ouch. To Naruto's delight, the next 3 throws were just as successful, with 3 shots to the center of the head, heart, and left arm. He missed the center of the right arm just barely according to Irika-sensei, but Naruto still felt good about his accuracy currently being 90%. He moved 3 pace to his left so he could target a fresh Training Kun and then let loose with his remaining 5 shuriken, scoring a hit with every single throw. Ah hell yeah! Naruto celebrated. He had just scored 90% with 9 hits out of 10. As he expected, another small box appeared. Objective complete. You attained a hit ratio of 80% or more. Objective completion reward, plus 100 EXP, plus 1 dex. Bonus objective completion reward, mystery award from Irika after the quest is over. Hidden objective reward, attain a hit ratio of 90% or more, plus 200 EXP. Even as he was reading that one, another box popped up over part of it. As a result of a specific action, the skill had been created. Shuriken Jutsu is the art of thrown weapons. Any handheld blade weapon that has in its description can be used with this skill. Shuriken, Senbon, and Kunao are a few examples. Passively increases dex by 2%. Passively increases damage with thrown weapons by 5%. Actively increases accuracy of thrown weapons by 5%. I already knew how to throw shuriken before I got this skill. Naruto yelled to himself in a fit of pique, I mean Kman. Ga. Another one just popped up. Through diligent training, your dex had increased by 1. Naruto decided to just dismiss the odd messages and figure out what they were all about later. He turned to face Iruka-sensei and waved his hands in what seemed like a random, excitable way, but was in fact him hitting the button-like things that closed the boxes. Did ya see that, Iruka-sensei? Naruto yelled excitedly, I did it. So you did. Iruka smiled at the boy who was practically bouncing with excitement. Now, the last part of the training I'm going to give you is Taijutsu. I want you to show me your forms for the Academy's Heikage style and I'll correct your forms as needed. Then we'll have a spar. Sound good to you, Naruto? Hell yeah! Naruto cheered. He really wanted to get better at Taijutsu so he could wipe the smirk off Sasuke's brooding, smug face. That and maybe prove to Sakura that he wasn't a complete loser. You're on the final leg now. Demonstrate your Heikage style Taijutsu to Iruka and allow him to make corrections to your stances, punches and kicks before you engage in a spar with him. Third objective, last at least 4 minutes in a spar with Umino Iruka. Objective completion reward, plus 100 EXP, plus 1 VIT, plus 1 STR. Objective failure, plus 50 EXP. Bonus objective, make Iruka actually put some effort into sparring with you. Geez, whatever this box thing is, it's really grinding on my nerves. I already know that the Chunin sensei have to hold back a lot when they spar with students. Naruto thought sourly. Ready, Naruto? Iruka asked, drawing the blonde boy's attention back to the Chunin. Ready. Naruto replied and assumed the basic ready stance of Konoha's Heikage style that he had been taught. Iruka frowned again. Naruto, what is that supposed to be? The basic stance. Naruto replied in a confused voice. It's similar, but subtly different. Iruka said, it's a weakened version, I would say. The position of your legs is weak, leaving you vulnerable to low attacks. On top of that, your arms are out of position, leaving you open and vulnerable from all sides. But Mizuki-sensei taught me this stance. Naruto protested. Did he now? Iruka muttered to himself, well, I'm correcting it. Place yourself like this. The scar-faced Chunin demonstrated the correct stance to Naruto, who shifted himself to mimic his teacher. Hey, this doesn't feel uncomfortable like the first stance does. Naruto commented. No fighting stance should feel uncomfortable, Naruto. Iruka told him, in a way, it's a good thing that you were uncomfortable with the first stance, as it will be easier for you to unlearn that one and then commit this one to muscle memory. Whatever you say, Iruka-sensei. Naruto replied, just so long as I can kick the team's ass in a spar. It took almost an hour for Naruto to perform the stances and kata of the Heikage style to Iruka's satisfaction. In that time, a small box popped up stating that his hard work had made his STR go up by 1. Alright, that should do it. Iruka said at last, just practice those in your own time and you'll do fine. Ready for that spar? Bring it on, Iruka-sensei. Naruto declared with an air of confidence and moved towards the sparring circle, followed by Iruka. Iruka brought out a coin and held it up. We'll start when this coin hits the ground, alright. When Naruto nodded, Iruka flipped the coin into the air with a soft metallic. The coin spun lazily in the air before beginning its descent to the ground as Naruto and Iruka tensed themselves. The coin hit the ground with a soft thud. Naruto exploded into motion, a fist flying at Iruka even before the dust from the coin's landing started to rise. Taken off guard, Iruka dodged to one side and struck out with a kick he deliberately slowed down so Naruto could see it coming. Naruto ducked under the kick and lashed out with a low kick that hit true on Iruka's leg. It being the only thing keeping him upright as he was in mid-kick, the Chunin began to fall. Not bad. Iruka thought as he slammed a hand onto the ground and sent a mildly strong and fast kick at his student. Crap, was all Naruto could say before the sandaled foot connected, sending him stumbling back a couple of feet. He had to admit that Iruka-sensei really knew his stuff. He had only been sent back as far as Sasuke had sent him on the previous week's spar when he had lasted 2 minutes against the last Uchiha. My turn to attack, I'd say. Iruka grinned at Naruto as he leapt athletically to his feet. He telegraphed a basic right straight at Naruto, but turned it into an elbow strike halfway. Naruto, having spotted the feint just before it had happened, leapt to one side and drove his fist into Iruka's side, actually making Iruka stagger back clutching his side. For such a small kid, he packs quite the punch, was what Iruka was thinking as he held his side. He's pretty quick on his feet and knows how to make the best use of the fact that he's much smaller than me. Time to up the difficulty to the next level, I think. Up until this point, Iruka had only been using the equivalent strength of an academy student who was average in taijutsu, but now he used the abilities of a student who specialized in taijutsu. Naruto ducked under a punch, dodged a kick and blocked a strong backhand. He was completely on the defensive now, which had always been the problem for Naruto. Even if his taijutsu had been good, Sasuke was faster and he had trained in a far more advanced style than the Academy's Heikage style. I need to keep my cool. Naruto though, Iruka-sensei is fighting at just above my level of strength and speed, meaning he isn't super fast. If I can read his strikes, there'll be a pattern that I can take advantage of, I hope. Iruka kept up the onslaught for a couple of minutes while he easily read Naruto's plan in his eyes. He made a mental note to teach the kid a poker face as it was far too easy to read him. Naruto made his move as Iruka drew his arm back from a punch. He grabbed onto it, used the arm as leverage to forcibly pull Iruka down to his level before leaping up and slamming his knee into the instructor's chin. Not entirely a part of the Heikage style, it was nonetheless effective, making the Chunin see stars for a moment. "Ow, sneaky Naruto," Iruka said as he put up one hand, signaling the end of the spar. That last move wasn't in the Heikage style, but I will grant you that it is effective. Eh. Naruto chuckled nervously. I knew you were looking for me to use one of the standard counterattacks, so I decided to try something you weren't expecting. Well, it worked. Iruka rubbed his jaw ruefully. Don't try that with your classmates though. They'd be knocked out or lose some teeth or something. Gotcha. Naruto nodded. Objective complete. Lasted at least 4 minutes in a spar with Iruka. Objective completion reward, plus 100 EXP, plus 1 VIT, plus 1 STR. Bonus objective complete. Iruka used low genin level speed against you. Bonus objective completion reward, mystery prize from Iruka after quest completion. As Naruto read this, another couple of boxes popped up next to it. Your level has gone up by 1. Level 4, Level 5. You have 5 attribute points to spend. Naruto had a vague idea of what that referred to, so he turned his attention to the other one. As the result of training, the skill has been created. The basic style of taijutsu taught at the Konohagakure Shinobi Academy. Heikage style has no particular inclinations towards attack or defense, instead having the characteristic of being easy to learn. The beginner's set is basic punching, kicking, and a few basic grapples. Passively increases STR by 5%, passively increases Dex by 5%, passively increases STA by 5%. As a result of a special action, the skill has been created. A taijutsu move that combines the upward motion of a jump with both the strength of the user's own muscles with the downward force exerted as the user drags the enemy's head down to meet their rising knee. Increases unarmed attack by 10% during this skill's duration. 5% chance of causing status effect. Naruto looked at the screens blankly before closing them. This was getting out of hand. He looked at Iruka-sensei, who hadn't seemed to notice him pressing something in midair. "What's next, Iruka-sensei?" Naruto asked eagerly. "Sorry Naruto," Iruka said, "I have to report to Hokage-sama about this year's genin candidates, so I'll be heading off in a moment." "Aww." Naruto slumped. He was just warmed up. "Now, I know you're disappointed, so I have some consolation prizes for doing so well today," Iruka told him with a small smile and unrolled a scroll, spreading it out across the ground. On it were 3 storage seals. "For doing so well on the obstacle course, you've got this." Iruka unsealed the first item in a cloud of smoke. What appeared from the seal was a brown book emblazoned with the title Intermediate Hokage Style emblazoned on the front. "Once you're certain that you have the basics down pat, read this and come to me with any questions," Iruka told an ecstatic-looking Naruto, "and I mean it when I tell you to only read this once you've mastered the basics. You might hurt yourself if you try something too advanced for you." "Hi, sensei." Naruto nodded reluctant acceptance to this qualifier. "Next, for doing so well on the Shurikenjutsu range, you have this." Iruka unsealed another scroll. "It's a scroll on how to perform a quick draw technique. Once you have it down, it'll really improve your Shurikenjutsu." "Cool." Naruto had always wondered if something like that had existed. "Finally, for doing so well in our spar not long ago, you have this." The item that was unsealed this time was a book on various types of exercises. "If you follow the steps in this book, you'll improve your body and get fit enough to be a shinobi." "Iruka-sensei, thank you." Naruto was a bit tongue-tied. He hadn't been given all that much from people. The Hokage had given him several small items over the years that Naruto treasured: his nightcap, a framed picture of the 2 of them eating ramen at Ichiraku's, and his green goggles were the 3 he liked the most. "No problem Naruto." Iruka smiled as he ruffled the boy's unruly hair. "Helping students out is the job of a teacher." Iruka led the 3 prizes into the scroll, rolled it up and gave it to Naruto. Ignoring the window, Naruto gave Iruka a hug and a grin. "Thanks again Iruka-sensei." Naruto though for a moment, "Annie, do you know how I can get faster? I was so slow there it wasn't even funny." Yes, Naruto could be cocky, but he was also honest enough with himself that if he saw a fault, he would take steps to correct it. Iruka thought for a moment. "Training weights would definitely help you out there. So would following the running exercises I gave you in that book. Combining the 2 would give you the best results, I think." "But where do I get training weights? And would they even sell me any?" Naruto wondered worriedly. "I'll take you to a shop I know tomorrow at midday," Iruka promised. "Just make sure you stay out of trouble today, alright?" "Hi," Naruto replied. There went the prank he had planned for later in the day. Ah well. Some sacrifices had to be made in order to kick Sasuke team's butt. "Make sure you do," Iruka said sternly. "Now, I'd better be off. See you tomorrow Naruto." Iruka vanished in a swirl of leaves, leaving Naruto shaking his head. "I have got to learn how to do that," he muttered. A second later, another box popped up. "You have successfully completed your training with Iruka and have become stronger for it. Quest completion reward, plus 500 EXP. Bonus reward, impressed Iruka, plus 150 reputation with Umino Iruka, plus 150 reputation with Sarutobi Hiruzen. OKAII. Naruto said slowly as he tucked his scroll into an inside pocket of his jumpsuit. Next mission, find out what the heck this RPG-like window thing is. He wasn't surprised to see another box pop up at what he said. You are perplexed about these messages, which is understandable. Return to your rundown apartment and read the book on top of your bedside table for the answers. Quest completion reward, plus 400 EXP, answers. Quest failure reward, more reminders about location of the book. Accept. The N button was grayed out, and when Naruto pressed it curiously, nothing happened. Shrugging, he pressed Y, making the box disappear. What the hell is going on? Naruto muttered, I don't even have a bedside table. Shrugging, the orphan turned and started making his way back to his apartment, where he hoped he would find answers to this whole mysterious blue box business. Office of Sarutobi Hiruzen, Hokage Tower. And that is my report for today, Hokage-sama. Irika finished. The Chunin was standing at attention in front of a large wooden desk. Behind that desk sat an old man wearing white and red robes and a fancy-looking hat with the kanji emblazoned upon it. So there is no doubt in your mind? Sarutobi Hiruzen asked. The venerable old man clasped his hands in front of him as he gazed at Irika impassively. Hi, Hokage-sama. Irika replied, Uzumaki Naruto's shinobi education has been grievously sabotaged, although thankfully not beyond recovery. With just a couple of hours of one-on-one instruction, I was able to deduce that his weaknesses are deliberately induced by outside parties, rather than lazy habits developed as a lack of attention to the lessons. And Naruto told you that his incorrect taijutsu was taught to him by Toji Mizuki? Sarutobi pressed. Yes. Irika didn't like ratting out a friend, but he also didn't like his friend sabotaging a student. Regardless of what that student held within himself, I believe that Mizuki has let his hatred of the Kyuubi blind him to the truth of who Naruto is. I am hardly one to talk though, as I was the same before you talked to me. Even before I did that, you were leaning towards realizing the truth for yourself, Irika-kun. Sarutobi corrected him. Mizuki however is not. I believe he requires a closer examination. Nico. Hi, Hokage-sama, a purple-haired woman wearing the uniform of the Umbu and a cat mask barked as she seemingly appeared out of nowhere. Detail a team to keep an eye on Toji Mizuki. I want to know what he does in and out of the academy better than he does. Also keep an eye on who he talks to. A little too much information about our graduates is being found out not long after each class, and a man's hatred can make his morals rot, especially if left to simmer for a decade. By your command, Hokage-sama. Nico vanished with a puff of smoke. Surely he wouldn't betray Konoha. Irika muttered to himself. He already has by attempting to stunt the growth of a boy with immensely high potential as a shinobi. In addition, I have received some unsettling reports from several spies that confirm that information has been leaked that an Academy Chunin sensei could easily access. Sarutobi said with a sigh, my thanks for your report, Irika-kun. Please come by to give me your report on how the shopping trip goes tomorrow. Presuming Naruto doesn't prank anyone today, I will. Irika replied. I have the feeling he will behave himself. Sarutobi replied as he began his fight against paperwork yet again. He wants to become stronger, so he will do what it takes to do that. As Irika left the office, he thought about his friend Mizuki. He really hoped that the man hadn't done anything worse than what had been uncovered today, because if he had, Mitarashi Anko will have a new play toy. Irika concluded grimly. Chapter 2. Oh, for the love of... Again. Naruto sighed in mild exasperation. He had just entered his apartment after his training session with Irika-sensei when, much to his irritation, he had discovered yet another plastic bag of dog crap sitting amid the shattered glass of his living room window. Seriously? Twice in one day? Naruto complained aloud, whoever is doing this has no imagination and way too much time on their hands. Sighing heavily, the blonde orphan made his way to the kitchen to get the unpleasant task of cleaning his living room up out of the way again. Naruto had no proof, but he suspected that whoever was responsible for the whole dog crap thing was the person who had been harassing him for years, ever since he moved into his apartment at the age of 5. Broken windows, vandalized doors. One time he had even come home to his door busted down and his apartment wrecked. The main problem was that he had no idea who was doing it. Any time this kind of thing happened, he was either at the academy, out doing shopping, or in his bed asleep. Now then, where's that book that the weird box/window thing was talking about? Naruto muttered as he walked into his bedroom. Aha! There, upon a brand new wooden table, was a thick book with the title The Gamer's Guide emblazoned in elegant gold writing on the front cover. People might call Naruto stupid, and it was true he wasn't the sharpest sword in the armory, but it didn't take a genius to connect the dots here. So this is the book the quest wants me to read, Naruto said as he eyed the book and table suspiciously. Call him paranoid if you like, but books and tables don't generally appear from nowhere. The last time he had just accepted a situation at face value, it had been when he found a bowl of ramen freshly made in his kitchen one day when he woke up. He had spent the next 2 days either sitting on the toilet or barfing his guts up, so once bitten, twice shy is Naruto's motto for strange, unexplained items appearing before him. After staring at the book for a moment, Naruto gingerly reached out a hand and carefully picked it up, half expecting it to blow up or something. What actually happened was that a box/window appeared, floating an inch or so above the surface of the book's cover. When he shook the book, the box/window stayed the same distance away from the cover without so much as wavering. Do you wish to learn this? Finally, some answers. Naruto muttered as he hit the Y button. Much to his shock, the book dissolved into a blue light that rather looked like chakra. It swirled around him for a moment before vanishing, prompting another box/window to open. To open the guide, merely say guide aloud, Naruto said. A new window opened as the first one closed automatically. Introduction. Attribute points and attributes. Raising stats. Level. Quests. Flaws. Skills. Reputation. There were a couple more options beneath that, but Naruto ignored them as his eyes were drawn to the first option. Iruka-sensei had drummed it into him that the basics were the most important part of a shinobi's skill set, so he had to master those first before moving on to more advanced subjects. Besides, the introduction button had a golden Q sign next to it, so Naruto supposed that that indicated the quest objective. Seating himself on his bed, the blonde academy student hit the introduction button, making another window pop up immediately. Now maybe he'd get some answers. Who or what the hell is Gaia? Naruto wondered aloud before he read the next line, which answered his question sort of. Great, now this damn box/window thing is giving me homework. Naruto bemoaned. He got enough of that at the academy. Yeah, I get it, the damn box power is strong. Naruto groused, now tell me what it can do. Okay, obligatory impressive speech, over. Now we get to the meat of the matter. The gamer has the ability to turn repeated actions into skills. It doesn't matter what you can do, fire lasers, swing swords, fly or whatever else. Anything can be turned into skills, even something as mundane as washing the dishes. That's really weird. Naruto's sweat dropped as he read the last part. Washing dishes? Seriously? What the hell kind of weird-ass ability did he have? Almost uniformly, all aspects of the gamer are invoked verbally, as you have no doubt surmised by now. You have at several pages with information and abilities that you can invoke merely by saying the name of the page. First, the status page. This displays several things: your stats and perks, your current level and your current HP and MP/SP/CP, as well as your flaws, special status, inventory and currently equipped equipment. Next is the skills page. This displays all the skills you have learned, as well as their current level, a small description of what they do and their effects. The perks page shows you your current perks and their effects. The flaws page shows you all of the current flaws that you have, as well as their effects, negative or otherwise. The quests page shows you all the quests you are currently undergoing, as well as the quests you have completed in the past. Finally, the reputation page shows you your standing with various people, groups, clans, cities and nations. Naruto blinked at this. It was a lot to take in, but the blonde orphan suspected that this would be very, very useful once he actually knew what the hell all of that blurb meant. There is one final thing to inform you of, gamer. Every single person who receives this power has had one of three reactions. Some choose to try and ignore their power and carry on as they did before they were granted this power. That never turns out well. Some become a force for good or evil using this power. The majority of people who receive this power take this route, although not many survive taking the evil route for some reason. The final route people choose to go is that of the original and first wielder of this ability, survival. Regardless of which path you choose to walk, life as you once knew it is gone, never to return. You could at least sound sympathetic, you bastard. Naruto huffed indignantly. Now, this concludes the introduction. Kindly read the rest of the guide for more detailed information on all that has been mentioned previously. More information will be added as you discover more aspects of your ability. All that is left is for me to wish you good luck as the chosen gamer of your world. The Game Master Han. Naruto sat quietly for a moment and contemplated this new turn to his life. He was still very suspicious, but none of the information he had been given indicated that there was any negative consequences of this ability except the strong possibility of dying if he became evil or ignored it. To quote his friend, Nara Shikamaru, this was troublesome. Still, there also didn't seem to be any way for him to get out of this. Naruto wasn't sure, but the writing seemed to suggest that this was irrevocable. He wasn't being given a choice here, he had the power, so he had to deal with it. The blonde boy knew he couldn't ignore it. Irika-sensei had given several lectures about the consequences of ignoring problems. The point being that they tended to bit you on the ass if you ignored them for too long. So I'd better learn everything I can about this gamer thing, now that I have it. Naruto mused aloud. Course of action decided, he closed the introduction window and was about to hit the stat points and stats button when another window popped up. You have unlocked the guide and received basic answers about your new ability. Quest completion reward, plus 400 EXP. Closing that one, Naruto developed a tick mark on his forehead as yet another one popped up. Scrolling through life, having learned about your ability, you should now check out Irika-sensei's gifts. Objective, learn at least one of the skills in the books by the aspect of the gamer. Quest completion reward, plus 500 EXP, plus 20 Academy Shuriken accept. Skill absorption. Oh, the book destroying thing? Right. Naruto said as he hit Y, cool. Time to check out Irika-sensei's scroll. Reaching into his jacket, he pulled out the scroll containing the 3 books Irika-sensei had given him. Well, 2 books and 1 scroll, but you get the picture. Unrolling it, Naruto carefully unsealed all 3 items, the fast draw technique scroll, the intermediate Heikage style book and the book of exercises. I can't learn the Taijutsu book cause I promised Irika-sensei, so that leaves this one. Naruto grabbed the scroll, making the expected window pop up. Do you wish to learn it? Bet your ass I do. Naruto muttered as he hit Y with his free hand and watched as, just like the guide, the scroll dissolved into blue light before vanishing into him. The Hiko Yoshin, or Flying Leaf Blade, technique is a basic fast draw technique used by Genin level shinobi of Konohagakure no Sato in order to more efficiently draw thrown weapons and use shuriken jutsu. Passively increases users' drawing speed with by 5%, actively increases speed by 1%, actively increases damage by 1%. This is so kick-ass, Naruto declared as he fist-pumped in victory. Now for the other one. In short order the book, 101 exercises, was absorbed. Rather than give him a skill, however, it gave him a permanent plus 8% EXP increase when he was physically exercising. Scrolling through life, you have learned a technique from the gifts Irika gave you. Quest completion reward, plus 500 EXP, plus 20 Academy Shuriken. Hidden objective completed, learn an additional skill. Hidden objective reward, plus 40 Academy Kunao. Hell yeah! Naruto cheered, this is awesome. After he calmed down from his celebration, Naruto remembered the fact that his window was still broken from the bastard who broke it this morning. With a sigh, he walked out into the hall and opened a largish cupboard, revealing several lengths of wood and stacks of glass. After the first 50 or so times that his window had been smashed by the mysterious vandal, the landlord had told Naruto that as whoever it was that was smashing his window was only doing it to his window, he could fix the damn things. This had been when he was 7. After a crash course in joinery, glass cutting and carpentry, Naruto had been able to make a reasonable-looking window. Moreover, as his window was smashed at least once a week, he got plenty of damn practice at it. Something that Naruto had browbeaten his bastard landlord into doing was that the fat bastard had to at least buy the supplied for him to do the repairs. There. Naruto wiped some sweat from his brow. About an hour later, that'll do it? Until the bastard breaks the window again. Naruto sighed when 3 windows popped up once he had finished putting away his tools. As the result of repeated actions, the skill has been created. Joinery is very basically shaping wood to fit a surface, usually for a house. Requires in order to use. Passively increases the success ratio of successful actions by 30%. Passively reduces the amount of wood wasted in actions by 25%. As the result of repeated actions, the skill has been created. Cast in a bad light by cat burglars and the like, the legal use of glass cutting is to cut sheets of glass up, mostly for use in windows. Requires tool, to use. Passively increases success ratio of successful action by 40%. Passively reduces chance of breaking glass by 10%. As the result of repeated actions, the skill has been created. Basic carpentry has been around for thousands of years and is the most basic form of building that there is that isn't using mud and straw. Apprentice carpentry is the basic building of things without a fine finish. Requires either or to use. Passively adds a 5% increase to the success ratio of any action involving the cutting or shaping of wood. Passively decreases the amount of wasted wood from any or action by an additional 5%. Okay, Naruto said slowly, why the heck are these new skills at such high levels? As he thought about it, a possibility occurred to him. All of the skills he had gotten in the last day had almost uniformly been at level 1, and they had either been things he had either done wrong in the past or hadn't paid any attention to. Carpentry, joinery and glass cutting on the other hand were things he had forced himself to get better at and had practiced fairly diligently at, so maybe if he created a skill he was fairly skilled in already, it made the skill at an appropriate level proportionate to how skilled he was at it. It sounded likely, but he had no idea how to prove it. Shrugging, Naruto dismissed the matter and started cleaning up the dust left over from his impromptu construction work. His stomach roared in protest, as he hadn't eaten since the cup ramen he had had for breakfast. Right? Ichiraku's it is, he decided. Naruto hastily finished the cleaning before running out to his favorite eatery. On the way, he noticed that everyone he saw had their name, a level, and a title of some sort floating above their head. Most of them were fairly standard ones like housewife, builder, and the like, but he saw a couple that surprised him. One kunoichi that he saw, with purple hair, a mini skirt, and a trench coat, had the title of floating above her head as she chomped down a stick of dango. Why would she have that kind of title? Naruto thought. Another odd thing about the woman was that her level was a trio of question marks, which was really puzzling for Naruto, who decided to investigate discreetly. He whispered as the window popped up in front of him. Name, Mitarashi Anko, Takubutsu Jonin, LV, dash, dash. HP, dash, dash, slash, dash, dash. CP, dash, dash, slash, dash, dash. Mitarashi Anko is a Takujo in Umbu-Tni. Hated and feared by the populace and a large portion of the on-duty shinobi forces because of her past affiliation with the traitor Orochimaru. Despite her fanatical loyalty to Konoha, she acts out deliberately to prove that the opinions of the civilians matter nothing to her. Wow. That bites. Naruto muttered as he walked on. She had it almost as bad as he did with the civilians. Heck, she kinda had it worse because of the fact that some of the on-duty shinobi hated her as well. Walking into the ramen stand that was his home away from home, Naruto espied the words floating over Tuki and Ayam. Ichiraku Tuki, LV15. Ichiraku Ayam, LV6. Okay, that was about the normal level for a civilian of Tuki's age. Ditto for Ayam. Ninja levels were much higher, with most genin wavering between level 15 and 25, while chunin were from 25 on up. Naruto presumed that anyone who had question marks instead of numbers for their level was a Takujo or higher. Tukaji-san. Ayamne-chan, he called. Oh. Naruto, how are you today? Tuka called from where he was wiping the counter. Heh. Just started a heavy training regime databia. Naruto replied with a confident smile, definitely gonna graduate this time. Ahaha. I hope you do. Tuka laughed. Now, what do ya want to eat? Miso, pork, and chicken, and keep it coming. Naruto declared. Comin' up, Tuka said, getting to work on his best customer's order. How have you really been, Naruto-kun? Ayam asked shrewdly. She knew the kind of things that happened to Naruto and his home on a regular basis. Naruto smiled ruefully at Ayam. Nothing worse than normal, Ayamne-chan. Irake-sensei gave me prizes for completing a remedial class on evasion, shurikenjutsu, and taijutsu. He did, huh? Ayam said, one eyebrow rising up in surprise. That was nice of him. Ah, here's your first bowl. Eat up. Naruto dug in eagerly. Ramen was truly the food of the gods. Throughout the years, Naruto had never had to worry about being poisoned or beaten while inside Ichiraku's. He did tend to avoid the ramen stand on his birthday, so the place which was so good to him wasn't damaged by his well-wishers. 8 bowls of ramen, and half an hour later, Naruto headed back to his apartment, full to the brim with his favorite food. Much to his relief, his window was still intact. I guess I'd better do a bit more research on this weird power of mine. Naruto mused aloud. I guess I'd better do a bit more research on this weird power of mine. Naruto mused aloud. Because he never really had any friends, he had developed the habit of thinking aloud. First sign of madness be damned. Naruto said, making the blue window appear again. Has so many topics. Met. I'll read them from the top down. Saying that, he tapped the button labeled Attribute Points and Attributes, making a window appear. Every time you level up, 5 attribute points are automatically generated, which you can then use to increase your own attributes. Your attributes are representations of your physical and mental abilities. 4. Ordinary people, their attribute points are automatically distributed to their strongest areas as soon as they level up. A person who possesses the gamer, however, can distribute their points themselves, thereby making themselves smarter/stronger/faster than an ordinary person is capable of. Holy shit! Naruto exclaimed. Your attributes are split into 3 categories: physical, mental, and special. Physical attributes deal with the strength and speed of your body. They are strength, dexterity, speed, and stamina. STR is the raw physical strength of your body. This determines how much weight you can carry, as well as the base damage you deal out in combat. Dex represents how nimble and agile you are, determining your accuracy as well as attack speed and attack evasion. SPD is how fast you are overall. This determines your movement speed. This stat receives a buff if your STR and Dex are at the same level. STA represents how sturdy you are, determining a great deal of your hit points, resistances to various status effects and fatigue. The mental attributes represent your mental prowess. They are intelligence and wisdom. Int represents your ability to learn and reason, especially in problem solving. It determines how much CP you have, as well as how effective your offensive and defensive skills are. Determines your memorization ability. WIS is your common sense, basically. It determines your CP regeneration rate, your ability to read other people's emotions and body language, as well as resistance against mental attacks, pain, and torture. Determines your problem-solving ability. Special attributes are unaffected by your mind or body. They are generally of things that affect you without you being able to affect them, other than raising their attribute points. The only special stat you have access to at this time is luck. Luck is a mysterious thing. It affects a multitude of things, random encounters, monster drops, and critical hits among other things. Naruto shook his head as the information he just read soaked into his mind. This is a cheat skill. If he used this right, he could get stronger than Sasuke team in no time flat. Absently he closed the 2 windows as he tried to remember the command to bring up the window with his attributes on it. Naruto tried and was rewarded with a small window appearing in front of him. Name, Uzumaki Naruto. Class, the gamer. Level, 5. Next level, 35.43%. Title, Academy student. Age, 12 HP, 700/700 CP, 700/700 STR, 11 STA, 25 Dex, 10 Int, 15 WIS, 5 Luck. Special status: Prankster King. Perks: Benton S. Blessing. Outside the box flaws: eyesore. Pariah. Headstrong attribute points, 7. Uzumaki Naruto is a 2-time failure of the Konohagakure Shinobi Academy. Ostracized by the village and his peers for an unknown reason, he nevertheless stands proud, unwilling to let the words and attitude of the villagers get to him. Naruto blinked in surprise. Okay, this was weird. Interesting but weird. Why was his wisdom that low? Was he really that lacking in common sense? He was expecting to not be smart, but this was a bit much. Just about the only decent stat among his attributes was his stamina. Geez, Irika-sensei was right, I am a stamina freak. Naruto muttered. He turned his attention to his special status. 2 of them were unnamed and 1 even added an unknown amount of EXP to an unnamed skill. The Prankster King status gave him mixed feelings. On one hand, he was pissed that his reputation gains were reduced by 15%. On the other, the bonuses to his stealth and trapping skills were not to be sneezed at. Spotting the attribute points at the bottom, Naruto felt a bit conflicted. What should he do here? Improve his mental stats to be more in balance with his physical stats, or improve his physical stats so he isn't kicked around like a football during a taijutsu spar by Sasuke team. On one hand, getting smarter will make class work easier, Naruto thought. On the other hand, getting physically stronger will make that team stop beating me in a spar, which would really kick ass. Choices, choices. In the end, he decided to level out his STR and Dex at 13, whilst putting the remaining 4 points into WIS. His STA didn't really need any points at the moment and, while low compared to his STA, his int was so-so. As for his luck, he didn't even know what the damn hell it was at. Either it was in minus numbers or it was ludicrously high, probably thanks to that perk. Having dealt with that, Naruto then checked out the inventory part of the window. Divided in half horizontally, the bottom half was a series of boxes about the size of Naruto's thumb, while the top half had a paper doll-like figure with various boxes around it. 2 boxes had pictures with the top and bottom halves of his jumpsuit in them, and another 2 had his ninja sandals and t-shirt in them. So these are what I currently have equipped then, Naruto surmised. Let's see. He tapped the picture of his jacket and a small window opened up. A hideous orange jacket that practically screams "I am here, come get me," to anyone within sight. No one with any degree of common sense would wear this monstrosity as an active duty shinobi. Plus 5 def. Minus 20% to stealth. Gives equipped person the flaw durability, 5/30ths. Oi! What the hell? Naruto yelped. My jacket is orange, comfortable, orange, has loads of pockets and is orange. What more could you ask? Grumbling under his breath, the blonde orphan glared at the window indignantly. What the hell kind of flaw is that? He tapped it impatiently. Your choice in clothing leaves so much to be desired that words cannot sufficiently describe it. Minus 5% reputation. Minus 20% to all social interactions. Additional minus 10% to social interactions with females. Shit. Naruto slumped. This must be part of the reason Sakura-chan hated him so much. Ino as well, he supposed, but Sakura-chan was the one he was most concerned about. Well. Naruto sighed. I guess I can buy a temporary outfit tomorrow with Irake-sensei if the place he's taking me to sells clothes. Another window popped up, leaving Naruto staring at it in deadpan at what it said. Clothes make the man. Discovering the flaw that your current attire gives you, you decide to buy something suitable to replace it the next day when Irake-sensei takes you shopping. Objective: purchase a new wardrobe to replace your current one. Quest completion reward, plus 500 EXP, plus 30 Academy Shuriken quest failure, plus 50 EXP, flaw becomes permanent. Accept. The hell? Naruto deadpanned, this ability gets more and more damn confusing. Screw it. I'll damn well do it. Naruto hit the Y button. Now, most people who know Naruto would be surprised by his quick acceptance of the fact he needed to replace his clothes, given his declared love and devotion to the color orange. His stubbornness and hard-headedness was also something of an urban legend in Konoha. The thing that most people missed was the fact that, while all of that was true, Naruto could change his mind if he saw enough evidence was presented to him. And, given the gamer ability was telling him that his clothes were not only impeding his social interactions, especially with a certain pink-haired Konoichi in training, but impeding his stealth abilities, he was damn well not stupid enough to resist that kind of evidence. Now then, training time. Naruto decided. He grabbed his new Konao and Shuriken holster and strapped it around his right leg before running out to find a free training field. One could never practice enough, after all. And the next day, early morning. Outside Uzumaki Naruto's apartment door. Naruto. Irika called as he knocked on the door. He had arrived to take Naruto shopping and was slightly concerned when he noticed that the window was broken. Judging from the fact that the glass is all on the inside, the window was smashed from the outside. Further, the pattern of the glass indicates that it was something heavy being thrown at the center of the window that smashed it. Irika's mind analyzed the crime scene very swiftly. Conclusion: a vandal smashed it with a stone. Just then, a bleary-looking Naruto opened the door. He had a wooden clothes peg on his nose and rubber gloves on his hands. "Irika-sensei? What are you doing here so early?" the blonde asked. "I had some unexpected free time this morning, so I thought I'd stop in and take you to the shop now rather than later." Irika replied, "Why have you got a clothespin on your nose?" "Come in and you'll see," Naruto replied. He turned around and headed back into his apartment. "Ojimashime-su," Irika muttered as he entered Naruto's home. He took off his sandals and followed his student into his living room, immediately understanding why Naruto had blocked his nose with that clothespin. A bag of excrement was lying on his floor, presumably thrown in by the person or persons who had smashed the window. Judging by the smell, someone had left the contents of the bag to rot and ferment for a week at least. Irika was surprised to see Naruto quickly and efficiently clean up the mess, depositing the bag and its contents over the balcony where the building's bin was located at the bottom and using the correct cleaning products to remove the stain and remaining odor from his carpet, before picking up the shards of glass and depositing them in his bin. "That was very practiced," Irika remarked. "How did you get so good at cleaning up a mess like that?" "The window getting smashed has happened every week or so since I was 7, but the rotten dog crap, that's new. It's only happened for the last 3 weeks or so." Naruto shrugged nonchalantly. "Every single day too. What a pain." Irika was very tempted to march out and find the ones responsible for this. "Do you have any idea who is responsible?" "Nope." Naruto replied at once. "It always happens either when I'm asleep or at the academy. I tried to set traps once, but my landlord caught me and threatened to evict me if I tried to set any." "Could it be the landlord?" Irika muttered. "Nah. He was seriously pissed at me for letting someone break my window." Naruto replied. "He got really pissed when it happened another 49 times in a row. I have to fix the window as well, so it's one hell of a pain in the ass for me too." Irika went still. "Naruto, did I just hear you wrong, or did you just say that you fix the windows when they get broken?" The Chunin's voice was surprisingly sharp as he said this, making Naruto blink in surprise as he removed his gloves and clothespin. "Yeah. Watch," Naruto said casually. The scarred Chunin sensei watched in amazement as his 12-year-old student measured and cut wood and glass with a practiced hand. He acted like he had done this so many times that it had ingrained itself into muscle memory. The end result was, by any standards, a very nice-looking window. It was unpainted and a bit rough here and there, but overall it was very well done for a 12-year-old. "Naruto, remind me how long you've been doing this?" Irika asked in a faux calm manner. "Since I was 7. Naruto shrugged lazily, as if it wasn't a big deal. "Anyway, now that that is taken care of, should we get going?" "Naruto." Irika didn't know what to say here. His student was obviously used to this happening to him, but he felt that it wasn't right to force a boy of Naruto's age to act like a joiner. He decided to report this to Hokage-sama after he had taken Naruto to the shop. "All right then," he nodded at Naruto. "Make sure you have your wallet." "Gama-chan's right here." Naruto took a fat wallet from his pocket. It was green and designed to look like a toad. "That looks stuffed to the gunnels." Irika chuckled. there should be more than enough in that to get a decent set of weights in that. Do you think it'll extend to a new wardrobe too? Naruto asked hesitantly. Naruto. Irika was surprised. Normally the blonde boy dug his heels in and refused to even consider getting a new outfit. He did love his orange. It's just I've been thinking, and maybe orange isn't a good color for a ninja to have. Naruto admitted, but I will have orange when I'm off duty, damn it. Irika chuckled. Even when compromising on something, Naruto still managed to win. Follow me, he said as he led Naruto out of his apartment. The teacher and student chatted amicably about irrelevant things until they came to an out-of-the-way shop with the sign Higurashi Weapons and Ninja Apparels emblazoned above the door. Wow! Naruto gaped in awe at the sheer size of the shop. They must have an entire armory of weapons and stuff here. Among other things, yes. Irika said with a smile, Higurashi's is the best shop in the village for ninja tools and equipment. The quality of the custom-made weapons is legendary, as are the regular wares. You'll find some good stuff here, Naruto. If they'll sell to me. Naruto reiterated bitterly. They'll sell to you. Irika reassured him, I've known old Tatsuhiko for years. He's tough, but fair, and has never refused to sell to a customer that I know of. Heartened by Irika's encouragement, Naruto followed him into the shop. Inside, the main floor of the shop was rack upon rack of swords. Katana, ninjato, notaki, tanto, yoroidashi, wakaizashi, chokyuto, kodaki, tachi, and even a handful of zanbato were literally filling the room. A long counter at the back of the room was loaded up with kunao and shuriken, ninja wire and soldier pills of all kinds. A girl who was only a year or so older than Naruto sat behind the counter polishing a kodaki. She had brown hair done up in a pair of buns on her head, steel gray eyes, and wore a pink top. A hitayate was tied around her head to signify her status as a shinobi of Konohagakure. Ah! Welcome to Higurashi Weapons and Ninja Apparels. The girl placed the blade on the counter when she noticed them. Irika-sensei, it's been a while. Tenten. You look well. Irika replied, is Guy still driving you nuts? Oh yes. Tenten replied sourly, youth this and burning brightly that. Lee is just as bad. Sounds tough. Irika chuckled, by the way, where's Tatsuhiko? Oyaji's out of town to bring in a new shipment of chakra metal. Tenten said, Kaya-san went with him to make sure he comes back quickly instead of doing a bar trawl like last time. Didn't he get a tattoo the last time that happened? Irika mused aloud, Kanezan's name wasn't it? Yup. Kaya-san was really irked with him for that. Tenten replied with a roll of her eyes, anyway, who is this that you've brought with you? This is Uzumaki Naruto. Irika introduced his student, who smiled shyly at Tenten. He's looking for some weights, as well as a new ninja outfit. Graduation isn't for a while. Tenten said with a frown, though I can see why he needs a new outfit. Those kami-forsaken orange monstrosities are barely holding themselves together. Well, excuse me. Naruto grumbled. Ah, don't worry about it. Tenten flapped her hand at him, we'll find you something to replace that outfit. How much have you got to spend? Not including food expenses and my rent. Naruto pondered, about 70,000 ryo. Tenten gaped at him for a moment. That will get you quite a lot, she said at last. Which would you like to get first? Weights or clothes? Naruto looked at Irika for advice. Clothes. Irika said firmly, you can then get weights that can be concealed beneath the clothes. What he said? Naruto told Tenten, who giggled. This way then. Tenten led them through a door in the side of the room. The next room was a smorgasbord of ninja clothes and armor. There were racks of the standard Konoha and Jonin outfit, as well as a great many other uniforms. Where the heck should I start to look? Naruto wondered aloud. Try wandering around and point out something you want to look at more closely. Irika suggested, and Tenten, have you anything new in that you could show Naruto? The girl mused, there was a new shipment of ninja outfits in from a one-time sale in Arashi no Kuni. I think there's one left. I could pull it out for Naruto-san to look at. Just call me Naruto, the blonde told her, I'm not one for formality. Sure. You just call me Tenten as well, the kunoichi replied with a smile, wait here. She walked into a room off to the side to fetch the shipment she had spoken about. Naruto meanwhile gazed at all of the clothes in the room and felt more than a little overwhelmed by the selection. How was he to choose any clothes from among all of this? It was like giving a starving man a feast. For now, I think you should get something simple to wear for day-to-day wear at the academy. Irika advised, sensing that Naruto was out of his depth. Once you get closer to graduation, you can come back and order something to be your standard ninja outfit as a genin. Sounds like an idea. Naruto replied in relief. Now that he had a guideline, he calmed down and began looking. He found a lightly armored shirt that went over a t-shirt that didn't look as if it restricted his movement by any serious degree. It came in 3 different colors, black, dark red and dark green. Naruto whispered in an undertone. A standard shirt made for entry-level genin in Konoha. It is lightweight and resilient to shuriken and thrown kunao. Def +7. Durability, 45/45. Okay, this is way better than my jacket. Naruto admitted to himself, I'll get a couple of these black, of course. Sakura-chan looks good in red, but I don't. And I don't like green. He placed 3 Amakusa shirts to one side and looked through the trousers section, completely ignoring the shorts. No way was he going to look anything like Sasuke Team, in his silly-looking toy boy shorts. Standard trousers for entry-level genin in Konoha. Lightweight, it is lightly armored to resist thrown weapons. Def +7. Durability, 45/45. Not bad. 3 of these as well, I think. Naruto thought. Just then, Tenten came back in with a box in her hands. Whew. Took a while to find the one I was looking for, she muttered, damn Oyaji and his bad organization skills. Tatsuhiko always was bad at that. Irika remarked, I'm surprised that Connie-san doesn't lose her temper with him about it. Kaa-san does. Tenten said with a grin, last week she chased him around the house with a frying pan. She's been taking lessons from Nara Yoshino then. Irika shuddered slightly at the mention of the Nara matriarch. So, what have you got in the box for Naruto? Well, it's a funny story that. Tenten replied, the guy who made the set only managed to make and sell 10 or so sets before he died. One of the buyers was my Oyaji. It's a complete set of shinobi armor, designed to resemble regular clothes. The whole ensemble actually provides slightly more armor than the regular Chunin and Jonin outfits, although it is slightly heavier as a payoff. Sounds like an awesome outfit. Naruto said in awe. It is. Tenten confirmed, it even has detachable areas for if you have to visit a tropical area and additional attachable parts for a winter country. I think Naruto would like a look at it. Irika said dryly as he saw Naruto's eyes shining at how adaptable the outfit was. Tenten placed the box on the floor, opened it up and removed a top from it, showing it to Naruto and Irika. Wow! Naruto muttered. The top was a size bigger than Naruto himself. Black, with blue stripes in a simple bar-like pattern. The sleeves stopped just short of the elbows and it came with a blank metal shoulder protector. Overall, it looked kick-ass. I'll take it. Naruto said firmly. Nice choice. Tenten said, do you want anything on the shoulder plate? Naruto detached the spiral symbol from his jumpsuit's left arm and handed it over to her. This please, he told her. Interesting, the kunoichi muttered. What is it? Jiji told me it's my clan symbol. Naruto shrugged, to know who the Uzumaki were, but I'm the last of them. I see. Tenten looked a bit sad at that, so you're an orphan too? Naruto looked surprised by this question. I'm adopted. Tenten explained, seeing the look of confusion on his face. Kaya-san can't have kids, so they adopted me from the orphanage. Oh yeah, I am. Naruto replied, tough, isn't it? Yeah, well, I'm good now. Kaya-san and Oyaji love me like a real daughter. Tenten said with a fond smile on her face. I'm happy for you. Naruto told her honestly. Now, how much does this outfit plus the 3 shirts and trousers come to? Let me see. Tenten did a quick mental calculation, 35,000 ryo. Huh. Cheaper than my jumpsuits. Naruto commented. What do you mean? Iruka asked curiously. For 3 jumpsuits at Old Man Hasegawa's, it costs me 50,000 ryo. Naruto replied. Why that? Tenten seethed. How dare he actually charge money for those hideous excuses for clothes? I'll tell Oyaji about this. What can he do about it? Naruto asked curiously. He's the chief of the Konoha Ninja Suppliers Guild. Tenten explained. He always cracks down hard on people who sell cheap crap to the shinobi forces or academy students. And Hasegawa isn't a registered member of the guild, so he's in deep shit. Heh. Serves him right. Naruto smirked. Ah well. These will do for now. Next is weights, I think. Yeah. Got just the ones. Tenten reached into her pocket and pulled out what looked like 4 black sweatbands. Sweatbands? Naruto asked with a sweat drop. Nope. Tenten shook her head. They have special fun on them that allows you to alter their weight. Theoretically, you could make them as heavy as a mountain, though you wouldn't be able to move. Iruka-sensei. Naruto asked dubiously. She's not tricking you, Naruto the Scar Chunin told him. Most Chunin use chakra weights very similar to them for training. 4 of them, Tenten. If he wants to improve his body equally, then he has to have 1 for each limb. Tenten pointed out, Lee only has 2 that he wears on his legs, but he does ridiculous weight training for his arms to compensate for that. This way, Naruto can train his arms and legs equally. True, but they are expensive. Iruka countered, a set of 4 costs 50 to 60,000 ryo. As he's purchasing the last of a stock item, I'll discount it down to 40,000. Tenten offered. Done. Iruka shook hands with her. Naruto, pay her. Sighing a bit, Naruto took out Gama-chan and counted out his spare cash, all 70,000 ryo of it, into Tenten's hands, plus an extra 5,000 for the rest. Thank you for your purchase and please use Higurashis for all your ninja tool needs. Tenten rattled off on automatic. Naruto, could you write down your address here so I can deliver the shoulder plate once Oyaji's engraved the emblem onto it? Sure. Naruto scribbled the address down on the proffered piece of paper. Oyaji and Kaya-san won't be back until the day after tomorrow and he'll take his time with the engraving, so you won't get it for at least a week. Tenten informed him. Met. It's going to be my ninja outfit once I graduate, so it's fine. Naruto assured her. Graduation wasn't for another 8 months or so the delay wasn't significant. Right then. Naruto, do you have a sealing scroll? Iruka asked. Just the one you gave me, Iruka-sensei. Naruto took it from his pocket. Do you remember how to seal things? Pulse a very small amount of chakra into the seal in order to seal or unseal anything. Naruto quoted, the larger the item or the more items you are trying to seal, the more chakra is required. Well, you do listen. Iruka marveled, Only use slightly more chakra than normal for sealing the slot, alright. Right. Naruto touched a finger to the paper, which Irika had stacked with the clothes, and channeled the smallest amount of chakra he could into it, making the clothes vanish in a small cloud of smoke. That was cool. Tenten remarked, most people have to use their whole hand to do that. Me included. If I use my whole hand, the scroll implodes. Naruto shrugged, I have so much chakra that it can't be controlled easily. Hell, the whole leaf exercise thing doesn't work because the leaf shred itself as soon as I touch it with chakra. Seriously, the bun-haired girl asked in disbelief. Naruto held out a hand to Irika, who sighed, took out a leaf and gave it to him. The blonde placed it on his forehead and, as he'd explained, the leaf was shredded into tiny pieces. Have you tried tree climbing or water walking? Tenten asked after she recovered from her shock. They are more advanced chakra control exercises that you don't usually learn until you're a genin, but it looks like you'll have to start from the top down. Naruto looked at Irika. Sensei. I'll have a word with Hokage-sama, he replied. Normally, academy students are discouraged from learning anything that advanced unless they're from a clan like the Hyuga, but I think he'd make an exception in this case. Yadadatabia. Naruto cheered. Today rocked. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you liked it, subscribe to my channel for more fan fictions like this, and goodbye.